this is Stephanie, Talk Tales and Trivia. How are you doing this mid-July? I hope everything is going great in your world. Today's episode is a fun one, and we're doing it because I just had a birthday, and it's our birthday episode. Everybody, of course, has birthdays, but do we all celebrate them in the same way? No, not everyone wants to announce their birthday or how old they are. I just celebrated my birthday, as I said, and I did it with no fanfare, and it was a typical celebratory way that I celebrated. I slept in, and then around 3 p.m. I got my ice cream, mint chocolate chip, with fudge and sprinkles, which I only get on my birthday, by the way. But why do some people have a problem with birthdays? Surely I can't be the only one who doesn't really care about celebrating their birthday alone. Can I be? Well, I will tell you that in my 40s I didn't mind telling whoever asked what my true age was. Somehow, something happened when I turned 50. I was a little more guarded and I stopped telling people my age. But why? Why? Age is a big deal in some circles, and I am surrounded by family and friends who know how old I am. I'd rather leave strangers and acquaintances guessing. A few years ago, I read an article in Vanity Fair, I believe, about Madonna, who told the reporter to not say her age in the article. Well, the reporter was a little put off that Madonna would tell her what to write, and the reporter, taking her First Amendment rights on free press, told Madonna's age, which she put in parentheses, she's 55. We here at Talk Tales and Trivia found on psychologytoday.com that the fact is, age has consequences. These are less apparent when our lives are settled, with the big questions of love and work at least temporarily resolved. The author goes on, if you've been on a dating website, no, or applied for a job lately, no, that's fine, but after a certain point, numbers rule us out far more often than they rule us in. Well, there is some truth to that, I do have to agree. The issue of how age defines us as normal, or, well, not normal. Our cultural assumptions around the age that we are deep and pervasive. The stage theory is premised on the notion that our lives move through predictable stages that correlate with our ages. Hey, that rhymes. Maybe you've heard of this stage theory. The trying 20s, the deadline decade, and that's your 30s, the flourishing 40s, and the flaming 50s. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a flaming 50-year-old. The more I think about it, perhaps the biggest reason for being defined by age is that the train of associations feels so powerfully misleading. For those of us whose lives have followed unconventional patterns, perhaps like myself, that means not getting married, not having kids, and pursuing a career path more meandering than directed. Age can tend to put the focus on what we haven't done rather than what we have. And this! On usatoday.com, it states that milestone birthdays are worth celebrating, not lamenting. Really? Later on in this article, it also states that for many people, birthdays, especially the big ones, make you think about how your life is progressing or not going as well as you had hoped. Well, there's some truth to that. Regardless of the birthday, it's a time to celebrate accomplishments. It could be a time to hit the bucket list. I'm not ready to do the bucket list thing quite yet. The USA Today article continues, go for that job that's a passion. Volunteer for that cause that's dear to you. Do something adventurous. Maybe take some calculated risks. While birthdays can stir up buried angst about aging and death, they should be, more than anything else, a tribute to life. After 50 and beyond, some choose to volunteer or start doing other things to help other people. That's typical, actually. Shouldn't we all be doing that anyway, though? At any age? Shouldn't we? Are we all so stuck on ourselves that we can't or won't give to others? Meals on Wheels, volunteering at the library, helping in the local schools are all possibilities. But I will admit, for myself and only for myself, that this is something that I have thought retired older people have more time for. But I do admit, now that I'm older, I view that differently. Again, in the USA Today article, it mentions one woman who turned 40. Some say this birthday milestone is the worst, the big 40. It's not, by the way. Youth is behind you, vanished. On to the not-so-golden years, depression, sadness for what hasn't been accomplished. The older you get, the more you appreciate life, though. But I felt pretty good at 40, so I had no complaints. But now I can tell you, with certainty, that every day I make time to learn more, study more, read more, and have more reflective and contemplative thoughts about life. I really do. I make more time to sit down and think, and because of that, I lead a much more peaceful life. That is something that I might not have done in my 20s, 30s, and into my 40s. Maybe I was selfish. The HuffPost says that the Egyptians started the celebrating of birthdays. Kind of. When pharaohs were crowned in ancient Egypt, they were considered to have transformed into gods. Ancient Romans were the first to celebrate birthdays for the common man, but just the men. Those celebrating a 50th birthday party would receive a special cake made of wheat flour, olive oil, honey, and grated cheese. All of this said, female birthdays still weren't celebrated until around the 12th century. Although the general idea of celebrating birthdays had already started taking off around the world, like in China, where a child's first birthday was specifically honored, Kinderfest, which came out of late 18th century, is a German tradition and is the closest to the contemporary birthday party in America. Yes, this celebration was held for German children, or Kinders, as they're called, and involved both birthday cake and candles, plus another to symbolize the hope of living for at least one more year. That sounds really morbid. Blowing out the candles and making a wish was also a part of the celebrations, and the bakeries also started offering pre-made cakes at lower prices due to advances in mass production. They got busy. In 1893, a song came out entitled Good Morning to All, which was intended to be sung by students before classes began. What a nice idea. The song was eventually given a few extra lyrics and would quickly come to overshadow the original lyrics. Well, you know what that song turned into. The new rendition became the version we now all know as Happy Birthday to You, which I will not sing for you because you would be very unhappy. And also, found on Medium.com an article entitled The Internet of Things Will Ruin Birthdays. Birthday harassment from brands and data tracking disguised as warm wishes. The writer states that everything internet, algorithm related, knows it's her birthday, and well-wishers are emails from places she would never have expected. I don't need a happy birthday from my bank. Thank you very much. How do you feel about those intrusive birthday wishes from the internet wishing you all the best? Let us call this what it is. Birthday harassment. Social networks can also use your birthday to determine what people are important to you. Brands use your birthday as an excuse to tell you they exist. The data tracking and governing algorithms that are part of your everyday internet experience become more visible on your birthday. I say, stop that! But they won't. It will only get worse. And then, let's not forget, there was the New York Magazine cover that stated the iconic Paul Newman, the sexiest 70-year-old man alive. My thought is, you're either sexy or not, regardless of age. That reminds me, did I ever tell you the story of when I saw Paul Newman without a t-shirt on? That's another tale for another episode of Talk Tales and Trivia.
Have you ever experienced a cataclysmic event that has left you in a disoriented and confusing world? Gwendolyn has. Thankfully, she's been shown the way to a wonderful existence. that no one at first could have ever imagined, not even her. Southpaw, a tale about a girl's imagination by Stephanie Lee, coming soon.
And now it's time for a rave with Stephanie. Well, this is a glorious day, and I love it. For the past month, I have been obsessed, going to YouTube several times a day to look at the Bohemian Rhapsody teaser trailer. The movie Bohemian Rhapsody comes out November 2nd, and I can't wait, but I can't seem to get enough of it. I also look at all the reaction videos that everybody has, and so far so good. Rami Malek from Mr. Robot will play Freddie Mercury. What a great pick. I just can't wait. And that is my rave for this episode. And we would love to know how you feel about Bohemian Rhapsody and if you'll see the movie when it comes out. But we'd also love to know how you feel about birthdays. Are you a birthday person or not? You can always email us at talktalesandtrivia@gmail.com, and you can go to Twitter, Talktales, etc., Talktales ETC, Facebook, we're Talktales and Trivia, and we hope that you enjoyed this birthday episode. See ya!